Hello and welcome to the Wednesday preview for another week. Looking forward to the card this weekend. We've got the winter sprint heats down at Mandurah on Friday night, and then on Saturday night we turn our attention to the Peter Thomas here at Cannington. We've got 2 heats of that, and we've got the 3 heats of the winter sprint, and we're going to have an in-depth look at the pair of them. Starting off with the winter sprint at Mandurah on Friday night. Really looking forward to these. Start off in race number 5, first leg of the quaddie, and from box number 1 we've got Bones McCoy, who's just been churning out win after win, comes up with that prime alley, and he'll take no end of beating. Didn't jump that well last time out, but he still had the audacity to go up the inside and showed great temerity and tenacity to get over the top there of Sozin Zazuri, who does reoppose here, while Bones McCoy, who has that string of ones next to his name. Sozin Zazuri is building a string of bridesmaid performances, 3 seconds next to his name, but he was good in defeat last week. He was able to lead, but Archibald came over the top and was too strong for him. Others in the race, Unsee This looks interesting. Back at 4:05 for the first time in a while. He had those couple of runs over this distance a little while ago now, and he didn't have much luck, it's fair to say. The second and most recent of those, he got checked out and ran last. So he does require that bit of early luck. If he does get it, he'll be somewhere thereabouts. And number 6, Valachi, who performed so well over the 275 metres first up for Margaret Heppel. Good to see him return to the track in that kind of fashion. And if he can produce what we know he can, he's going to take no end of beating. Turn our attention now to the second of the heats. Who Told Tough comes up with box number 1. He's got the perfect record here over the 4:05 of 5 starts for 5 wins. He was excellent to win 2 starts ago, given he bombed the start, but he still had the nous and racing knowledge to get up on the inside there and overcome such a poor start. So it's showing he's got a bit of versatility on his side, and he's no one-trick dog. So even though he was defeated last time out, he comes here in pretty good form because he didn't really get a good chance last week, considering he never really threatened and got into the race. Box 1 helps. I think he'll be hard to beat. West on Bray's always an honest and consistent performer. Then you've got Bamsey's Boy, the 4:05 specialist, who has won 18 times over the track and distance. So in these heats, he's certainly the winningmost dog, and he's going to take some beating if he can put himself up there. He didn't have much luck behind Sozin Zazuri and Archibald last time out. Nice Image steps up to the 4:05 for the first time in a while, and then you've got Firecloud drawn out wide, who comes out of a crack race at Cannington, and he did look a little bit of a threat there in the run. I know he's not the strongest dog, but he looked like he was going to stick on and run a gallant second, and he just emptied out late. The track conditions really didn't help him. Then we turn our attention to the final of the 3 heats, and from box number 2, Sunset Piper. David Hobby's back in the training ranks, and Sunset Piper's back at the races for the first time in about 6 months. We know what a quality dog this is, so providing she's somewhere around the mark, she's going to be right in the thick of the action. Zulu Gladiator comes here in winning form, and Momentum, who had 0 luck in the Nationals heat, or the final, the West Australian final last time out, so he can return to winning ways. He's shown his right up with the best of the dogs here in WA. I think he actually was favourite for that final of the Nationals last Thursday, so he's going to take no end of beating, providing he can jump somewhere close to them. We know he'll be strong over the 4:05. And then others like Archibald, who showed that strength last week to run over the top of Sozin Zazuri, and West on Fever, who comes back from some 490 performances. 4:05 is a trip he's shown he's perfectly adept at in the past. Going now to Saturday at Cannington, and we've got those 2 heats of the Peter Thomas. We've had such great racing in recent weeks that this is perhaps a rung below, but we've still got some quality chasers engaged, and the first heat gets underway at 8:37. 4th and 5th grade chasers do battle, and number 1 Electrified is a perfect 7 from 7 here over the 5:20 at Cannington. Comes up with box number 1. Hasn't been jumping the best, and this is a stern test, so will need to be right at the top of his game. Gangnam Manelli right next door. We know how strong he is, and he has been jumping quite well recently, so if he can be right there, he'll take no end of holding out. Rip and Sheen has that early alacrity that we know he can possess as well. Others in the race, West on Radar led up last week, so he could be a pace angle. And 7, Eagle Manelli, he'll he'll be finding the line strongly. Just needs to avoid any kind of early trouble. He isn't the best suited in 7 you'd expect, with Hurricane Taylor next door, who also ran so well last week, chasing home gamely from midfield to get up and run second. So an interesting first heat of the Peter Thomas we have there. And then we'll go across to the second heat, which is at 8:57. And Zeke, he is a flying machine out of the boxes. He'll be up there from the outset and gets a perfectly good opportunity to find his way into the final in a race like this. He could lead for a long way. He's got Granite Song next door, who generally begins well, although his last couple haven't been his best performances out of the boxes. Glorious Gun, Kinjarling drawn in the centre. Glorious Gun is a dog that I think still we're yet to see the absolute best of. Weston Governor drawn out in 7, Lil Miss Olive out in 8. So with those couple of heats of the Peter Thomas on Saturday, and that coupled with the Winter Sprint heats on Friday night, promises to be a very good card of racing across the weekend. In terms of a best bet before then, though, we're going to Cannington tonight. Race 2, number 1, Webleck Opal, showed really good temerity to work home into second place last time out, and I thought that was a sign of a coming winner. Got wide on that first turn and didn't have the best of racing luck from box number 1 tonight. I think we can see a premium showing from Webleck Opal. So with those heats across the weekend, we'll have some finalists by this time next week, and I look forward to joining you then for the Wednesday Preview.